Hello everyone, my name is Arti and you're watching HW News. Year 2018, with just 1 year to go for all crucial 2019 Lok Sabha election, the Modi government was confronted with a major controversy. A kind of controversy that had led to the fall of previous governments. So when the Rafale controversy and the intricate details started to unfold one by one, there was definitely uneasiness in the ranks and files of the Modi government. For 4 years, it had shown an image of a clean government without a stain of corruption. But the Rafale controversy could well have been turned into Modi government's force movement. Congress, which was bolstered with victories in Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan assembly election, had made it a focal point of its election campaign. Rahul Gandhi, the then Congress president, was aggressively attacking Prime Minister Modi on the Rafale deal, and the issue had started to get steam. At this time, a CBI inquiry would have been a death blow to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's re-election campaign. It would have effectively cracked the carefully crafted image of Prime Minister Modi as na khaunga na khane dunga. So when Alok Verma, the former CBI director, seemed to entertain the petitioner who called for launching a formal investigation into the Rafale deal, it sent alarm bells ringing. Just few weeks later, former CBI director Alok Verma was sent on forced leave. But it was not only him that was sent on a leave, it was also his deputy Rakesh Asthana who was sent on forced leave. Now here comes the CBI versus CBI scandal that hit the country's premier investigative agency in 2018, right in the middle of Rafale controversy gaining momentum. You might remember that both Alok Verma and Rakesh Asthana came to odds with each other after Verma took over the investigation into the cases of corruption against Asthana. Now Asthana also has a very intriguing history, but we will talk about it another day. So this tussle led to not only these two officers being sent on a forced leave, the entire team working under Verma, which was probing the corruption case against Asthana, was transferred overnight. It is important to note here that few months ago, senior advocate Prashant Bhushan, along with former BJP leaders Arun Shourie and Yashwant Sinha, had then formally moved to the CBI demanding an investigation into the Rafale fighter jet deal. They had filed a complaint against Prime Minister Modi and former Union Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar on the charges of abuse of authority under the Prevention of Corruption Act. There were also talks that Alok Verma was to consider the complaint. So the CBI versus CBI tussle and ouster of Alok Verma, who was likely to consider the Rafale scam case, almost looked like a script straight out of the films. But wait for more. 3 years after the CBI versus CBI saga, the Pegasus project now reveals some startling details which happened around that point of time. According to The Wire, hours after Prime Minister Narendra Modi acted to oust Alok Verma from his post as the head of Central Bureau of Investigation at midnight on October 23, 2018, 3 telephone numbers registered in Alok Verma's name were added to the list of potential targets that were spied on using Israeli spyware Pegasus. Not only Alok Verma, but the personal telephone numbers of his wife, daughter, and son-in-law were also eventually placed on the list, making it a total of 8 numbers from this one particular family. Now, around the same time that Verma's number was added to the list, 2 other senior CBI officials, Rakesh Asthana and A.K. Sharma, were also placed on the list. Both the men were added to the database about an hour after their former boss, which is Alok Verma. Now, this cluster of contacts remained in the list for about 4 months until February 2019, and after that, it ceased to be in the list. This was around the time that Verma had finally retired from government service. It is worthy to note here that Verma had been at odds with the Modi government on several occasions. He had alleged that a top PMO official used Rakesh Asthana in the agency to target the opposition forces, and that he could name the official if the matter is investigated further. This put the PMO further in the dock. In the Supreme Court hearing challenging his removal, he had also said, and I quote, that certain investigations into the high functionaries do not take the direction that may be desirable to the government. He also said that not all influence that is exercised by the political government would be found explicitly or in writing. More often than not, it is tacit and requires considerable courage to withstand. So let me sum it up for you before moving on to the next part of this video. Alok Verma, who the government might have found a problematic person due to his inclination toward Rafale probe and taking on Rakesh Asthana, was put on the surveillance list hours after he was removed as CBI director. Now let us talk about part 2. At the center of the Rafale controversy that heated up in 2018 was Anil Ambani's Reliance Defense. The firm's name cropped up in the controversy after questions were raised on the procedure in which Dassault Aviation had to choose its offset partner. The then French President, Hollande, told a French media organization that it was the Indian government which suggested the name of Reliance Defense. Whereas back home, there were questions why the HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, was neglected for the crucial deal. Moreover, a link between Reliance Entertainment and the former French president's partner raised the suspicion even more. There were protests, allegations of crony capitalism as well. Now, amid this worldwide controversy around the Rafale deal, phone number that have been used by Anil Ambani and the one other official of the Reliance ADA Group were added to the leaked list. Apart from Ambani, numbers of corporate communications chief of his company, Tony Jesudasan, as well as his wife, appears on the list. Now, Tony Jesudasan is known as the troubleshooter for Ambani's company as far as regulatory policy and media is concerned. Interestingly, the numbers on the leaked list suggest a particular interest in the defense sector. For example, the number of Dassault Aviation's representative to India, Venkatrao Fusina, former Saab India head Indrajit Sial, and Boeing India boss Pratyush Kumar all appeared in the leaked database at different periods of time between 2018 and 2019. Now, Sial is now the India and Asia Pacific head of the US defense company Textron. Now, the number of Harmanjeet Nagi, who is also the head of the French firm EDF, is also in the leaked database. Now, link all of this together. A CBI officer who was likely to consider opening of Rafale investigation and a businessman who is at the center of the Rafale controversy. Representative of his partner company, Dassault Aviation, all of them appeared on the Pegasus leaked list around 2018 and before 2019. We have earlier reported that opposition leader Rahul Gandhi, who raised this Rafale issue, and persons from his close circle were also on the list. Indian Express journalist Sushant Singh was also target of the snooping when he was covering the Rafale controversy. What do you make out of it? To quote Home Minister Amit Shah, whether it is Sanyog or Prayog, whether it is coincidence or it is an experiment, one doesn't know because the government has categorically refused the allegations. NSO has also denied that the leaked list indicate people targeted by NSO or Pegasus for spying, but it also says that its clients are vetted governments. It is thus very alarming that the Modi government is not in favor of a free and fair investigation into the matter, which is probably the biggest issue of our time. Do let us know what you think about this in the comment box below. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in. Well, for the last few months, we have been asking you to support us through our YouTube membership program, and it is heartening to see so many people coming out and showing support to us. It motivates us to continue the journalism that speaks truth to power. But many of you also wrote to us saying that they were unable to support us through YouTube. A lot of you also wrote to us asking whether there is an option of one-time payment. So we have come up with another option on our website through which you can support us. You can choose if you want to support us through monthly one-time payment or yearly one-time payment on the website. This subscription plan also comes with certain benefits. So do check it out. Go to our website, click on the support on the topmost toolbar and check out the plan that you want to take up. Your support means the most to us, so do subscribe. Until then, stay tuned to HW News.